So the first question is, what key life experiences have formed who you are today?
Well, I think for me, the foundational ones are from where I grew up in South Carolina. So I grew up in a relatively small town. Later moved to New York. I did some more college in New York City, and that was really a very transformative experience.
Perfect. So the second question is, how did you become passionate and involved in our city?
Through my teaching at ASU,
Yeah.
I've done projects that have ranged in scale from fairly large scale redevelopment projects, looking at aspects of the downtown, imagining how we can kind of bring a little bit more vitality and interest and energy to the downtown. Get invested in a place, and so you're obviously interested in the nature of that place.
All right, the next question is, what are your core values and how are they reflected in your work or your teaching?
Value is having an interest and a respect for different viewpoints, and appreciate what that person is sort of realizing through their work.
Next question is, why is our city a great city?
I'm not entirely sure I would qualify Phoenix as a great city. It's an interesting city. We've got Hohokam era settlements that are 900 plus years old here. And so I would imagine Phoenix is one of the oldest places of settlement in the entire country. And then for it to now be, a very contemporary American city. That is one thing about the place that's quite interesting, is that how it brings together this deep history in some respects, but then it's also, kind of so new.
With how fast it's growing and the way that we're
especially
doing
in
it.
recent years. And
the next question is, what causes, projects, and activities are you involved in, and why?
well, I have a practice with my wife, and so in terms of projects, we've got our own small practice, and it's mostly residential work, but we've also mixed in some commercial work, and so we've done a few small projects like that where you feel like you are making some kind of small contribution to the city by taking something that was, but it was a place that was languishing, it wasn't really contributing, and then investing in it and then reinvesting people into it, by having businesses or whatnot, sort of refreshing the city or reinvesting, kind of life into places that maybe had suffered a bit.
So how do you collaborate with other individuals and groups to realize your impactful work?
I do work with my wife. I am not a good collaborator. You do in architecture, though, you have to learn how to work with people, whether you're a natural collaborator and you really value that process, or whether you just you have to do it because you have to do it. I'm of the you have to do it because you have to do it category, but nonetheless, it's just part of the discipline, it's part of the profession. So, but where the real collaboration, I think, happens is just the back and forth with students as they're plotting their path through kind of framework for a project.
The next question is, what other creators who are focused on similar causes, projects, and activities have influenced you?
I do think over the years, the other faculty here have been a real influence, particularly from an education standpoint. I think from an architectural practice standpoint, not to identify one person or group that's been terribly influential, just because, I don't know, maybe I've just got a short attention span or a diverse attention span. It tends to be, kind of more ranging than it does focused in a particular area.
And for the last question, what would you recommend I do to become a future creator of a great city?
For me, looking at creative work, like absorbing as many examples of really good architectural work, like looking at art daily, for using that as a way to build up your own sort of understanding of a language that's of interest to you, like kind of clearer, stronger sense of who you are, what you want to do, where your interests lie.
And thank you so much for this.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure, yeah.